Joshua's life was changed through a film that he saw.
Joshua was the first to lift his hand and to come forward.
It was obvious that he was a completely different person.
It was one of those life changes that you rarely see.
It all began last year during our winter vacation, the month of July. My Uncle Bruno came to visit us as he normally does, and he mentioned that he was leaving on a trip north to Formosa. I don't know why I said what I said next in that moment.
I'm not sure how it happened, but he asked, "Can I go with you?" "Oh," I said, "that would be great."
On that trip, it was God who really began to bring about change in my life. On the road, as I shared tea with my uncle, everything began to change. I don't know how, but I was able to tell him the truth about my life at that moment.
Joshua said to me, "Uncle, do you know that I smoke?" I said to him, "No, I've never seen you smoke." "And do you know that I drink too?" I said, "Joshua, what do you drink?" He said, "Alcohol, and sometimes I get dizzy and pass out." "Oh, Joshua," I cried. "But Uncle, you don't know that I take drugs either." When he told me that, tears began to fall in my life.
It was good that he was able to listen to me. I wasn't sure whether he wanted to hear what I had to say, or instead scold me for saying it.
That night on the road, I didn't have an answer to give him. Instead, I said, "Joshua, it's no coincidence that you are here with us. God can do a great work in your life in these days to come." He began to cry and said, "Uncle, I also want to kill myself because I don't know why I live." For me, it was like a sword that had been thrust into my heart.
He didn't have any goals in his life. He had begun to study at a vocational school, but he quit that, and I just didn't know how to help him.
Many times I tried to leave all those bad things behind, but it was useless. My life was a complete disaster without Christ.
How did you come to know Jesus?
Well, through the Jesus film.
We arrived at our destination, and while we worked on the roof of the new church, we placed a sign out front that read, "Showing today the Jesus film."
When the time for the film came, I began to watch, paying more attention. And I noticed several moments that were marked by the presence of the Lord. For example, when Jesus was walking. To me, it was not the actor I saw, but Jesus himself. So that began to do something to me inside. And when the moment came that they took him to the cross, it moved me. Because I know that he was doing all this for my sins and blames. I understood that that was his purpose.
And when I gave the altar call after the film was finished, who was the first to lift their hand?
And in that moment when I lifted my hand, it was as if enormous weights were lifted. I felt freedom.
That very day, he quit the alcohol. He broke the addiction to cigarettes. He left behind the drugs. It's been more than a year and a half, and he's not even touched any of that stuff since. Life radically changed.
The prayer was so simple, yet so beautiful.
It's not just that Jesus entered into Joshua's heart, but the word also says, "You and your house will be saved."
The Lord used Joshua. Through him, I was able to finally listen to God's message, and now I am in the church. And because of what God did through Joshua, his fiancée is in the church too.
God did something marvelous, is marvelous, for He changed my life completely, my strengths, and renewed my desire for life.
He is a new life.
Joshua now has tremendous joy.
A brand new Joshua.